started about, like, as you said, almost a year ago. That was when before I went to the doctor for the ER, I had extremely low energy, was extremely dehydrated, poor diet, lost about 30 pounds within a month during those early days. And since then, with the aids of supplements and better diet, my weight has stabilized. I've gained a little bit of weight, better energy, feel like I have reserves. So it's not where I was before, but overall I feel just amazingly more healthy. Doctor approach was more of a quick solution. He's seen some of those types of traits before. Therefore, there was a quick funneling into their system. The personalized method was, let's take a serious look at all of those results and the reports and how unique my body is, and then tailor something to that, and to have someone who has enough experience and broad familiarity with the choices that can help someone get better, as opposed to just being funneled into a pharmaceutical lane that is designed. They believe it's designed for everyone, but in my opinion, it's designed for those people who don't really want to be curious about a more natural solution. Yeah, and looking back at the medication with the prednisone, it was a hammer that was pretty effective right at the front. And I hope that it gave space to allow for healing, but that alone is not going to allow for healing. It's just, putting up the barriers. It's not creating a safe space for letting your body naturally do what it needs to do in order to heal itself. What I found was that the pharmaceutical path, it just didn't feel right to me. It just wasn't, to me, the only piece of the puzzle. It was needed for that period of time to get me from the ER back to I can live on my own. In that sense, but from then forward, I really didn't want to rely on that long term. And when the GI doc said, "Hey, you're going to have medication for the rest of your life," and at the same time tell me that I've got a significant higher chance for colon cancer because it's in my entire colon, I go, well, there's got to be something besides medicine that can help me avoid cancer.
Sure.
So I'd like to explore what other options are out there.
Normal bacterial flora, these are the beneficial probiotic bacteria. And he had 3 Bacteroides, Enterococcus, and Escherichia were all 3 higher than they should be. This creates dysbiosis. There should always be a balance between the good and bad bacteria. And so this was one of the first things that we found, showing a gut dysbiosis or imbalance in the gut microbiome. I know it's a little bit tough to see, but this tests for elastase, which is a measure of pancreatic function. And when it is low, which it should be over 200, his was 120. When it's low, this is a great indicator for SIBO growth. It literally stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And so that's another thing that we discovered. So decreased pancreatic function. And then finally, his GI was on fire. His medical doctor literally said it was a sunburned gut, and he had been diagnosed as an ulcerative colitis by his MD, and we just had a kind of a confirming test here. Again, this number should be under 50. One of the only ones I've seen above 2,300, and then there was actually some blood in the stool.
Think about where you want to be a couple of years from now. What is the lifestyle that you would like to have a couple of years from now? And are you making choices right now that will support that? For me, the results speak for myself. Even though I'm not back to the weight I was before, I don't have the same energy level. I feel like I'm close to 85% overall from where I was before all this happened. To me, the results speak for themselves. And even if I have to take certain supplements for a long period of time, that's still going, in my opinion, going to be healthier than any of the other choices that were made available. So yeah, I remember those fears. I was talking with people who didn't want any part of it. Yeah. But just take a closer look at what you really think is important, and give it a shot. I don't think you'll ever be disappointed with a natural path. And thank you very much for your accessibility, your personalized approach, and to help me figure out not to be figure out a path that doesn't make me dependent on necessarily anything long term. That we can get to the point where my body can in fact just have the good healthy food and continue to thrive.